Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Comrade Obert Mpofu. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Mr. Machia. Commissioner General of Police, Comrade T.G. Matanga. Deputy Commissioner General Matibiri, Deputy Commissioner General Sibanda, Deputy Commissioner General Shambari, Deputy Commissioner General Mutamba, Commander Harmonized Elections, Senior Assistant Commissioner Makoza, Chief Staff Officer Operations, Senior Assistant Commissioner Dumbura, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. And thank you for attending to this press conference where the Minister is going to address the media on the current security situation in the country and events that led to the breakdown of rule of law in our country. The Minister of Home Affairs said that the media is ready for your address.
Thank you very much indeed, Senior Assistant Commissioner Charanda. I want to acknowledge the media fraternity that has been waiting for this long. This is due to the commitments that we have been engaged in the whole of this afternoon and this evening. This is our second press conference following the announcement, or the continued announcement, of the election results. I will deal with some aspects of the occurrence today, and then refer operational issues to the Commissioner General, Comrade Matanga. On behalf of the government of Zimbabwe, and indeed on my own behalf as the Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, let me at the onset express our sincere and deepest condolences to the bereaved family members who lost their loved ones during today's coordinated, preconceived acts of violence leading to destruction of property and ultimate loss of life. We condemn in the strongest terms these acts of violence which have reared their ugly face in the Harare Central Business District, and we attribute them to the MDC Alliance. The government of Zimbabwe places full responsibility for the violence, destruction of property, injury and loss of life on the MDC Alliance, who have continuously and persistently churned out hate speech, inflammatory language, and have displayed propensity for violence since February 2018. MDC Alliance political leadership has over the past 3 months heightened up acts of psyching their members to commit acts of violence, whilst addressing political rallies, press conferences, and even on social media. Let me cite these specific incidences out of a host of others where the MDC Alliance leaders exhibited reckless and careless statements. On the 20th of February 2018, public violence during the funeral of the late Morgan Tsvangirai in Buyera. MDC supporters attempted to set ablaze Thokozani Kupe and other members following a leadership wrangle between her and Nelson Chamisa. On the 4th of March 2018, rowdy MDC supporters stormed an office where Thokozani Kupe was conducting a meeting, attacked and injured her and some of her supporters in the process. On the 1st of March 2018, Zwamaida Murwira of the Herald and Anna Chibamu, a freelance journalist, were assaulted at Harvest House in Harare. Recently, ZBC journalists were also assaulted by MDC supporters in Mashal in East Province, in full view of Nelson Chamisa. In another recent incident, an MDC Alliance aspiring candidate was severely assaulted in full view of Nelson Chamisa for simply inquiring on his candidature status. On the 23rd of July 2018, MDC Alliance leader Nelson Chamisa openly used threatening language towards His Excellency Comrade Idi Mnangagwa, ZEC Chairperson Justice Chikumba, and openly said there will be serious trouble and consequences if my will does not prevail. And this was said in Shona, and this is a translation of what he said in English. Happy Mo Chiziva, MDC Alliance Youth Secretary, openly issued threats of violence whilst addressing a rally in Gweru on the 23rd of July 2018, when he said, Hokoyo Mnanga, Hokoyo Zek, Hokoyo Moto, Uyu Moto Uyu. Literally meaning, we are going to commit unspecified acts of violence and there will be serious trouble. On the 29th of July 2018, Advocate Obert Mpofu also cited MDC Alliance supporters through utterances that Chamisa was the election winner and anything to the contrary was not going to be accepted. In terms of ethics and code of conduct of the legal profession, this was unprofessional, dishonorable, and unworthy the qualities of a lawyer. The government will lodge a complaint with the Law Society of Zimbabwe. On the 31st July 2018, Tendai BT reiterated the same utterances that his party will not accept any result in which Nelson Chamisa is not declared the winner. He therefore then urged his followers to demonstrate in what they termed peaceful demonstration to claim their vote. On the 1st of August 2018, MDC youth leader Happy Mo Chiziwa again addressed MDC Alliance supporters and urged them to engage in acts of public violence in Harare CBT and to besiege the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission offices and the National Results Center. On the 1st of August, yesterday, 2018, 1st of August 2018, Nelson Chamisa thanked his supporters for voting him into power and stated that no amount of rigging will stop his victory. All these acts and others seem to have been a build-up of tension which was consummated today through acts of violence. May I reiterate that the Zimbabwe Republic Police and other security institutions will remain on high alert and continue to monitor the security situation in the country. The government has invoked Section 37(1) of the Public Order and Security Act, Chapter 11(17), which authorizes the incorporation of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces into the law enforcement agency role of maintaining law and order, strictly under the command of the police. Our security forces, therefore, remain deployed across the country to maintain law and order. Let me strongly warn the MDC Alliance leadership and supporters who are engaging in acts of violence to desist from such acts. The long arm of the law will certainly catch up with them. We will leave no stone unturned. Meanwhile, we want to thank the generality of Zimbabweans who have heeded the call to remain peaceful and continue to observe the laws of the country. We urge them to continue with their normal day-to-day activities. I want to thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. At this stage, the Minister will invite a few questions. Yes, please.
Yes, my name is Nomda Charamuka. I'm with the ZRP Godwin. Minister, I just want to find out, you've indicated that the MDC Alliance is fully responsible for what transpired today. Are there any arrests that are going to be made on the leaders of the Alliance for inciting these disturbances?
Ideally, anybody who commits a crime gets arrested. And your later part of the question, I'll refer you to Commissioner General, who is in charge of the operations.
Thank you, Honorable Ministers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. On matters of regarding operations, unfortunately, I am not going to respond to them because we've got a number of teams which are still investigating cases which occurred this afternoon. But on his question, I have already invited Tendai Biti and Happy Mochiziwa to help us with investigations. And we'll be talking to more people after we have discussed with the two I have mentioned. Thank you.
Just to add on what the Commissioner General has said, before the escalation of the demonstrations this morning, I spoke to Mr. Chamisa myself on 2 occasions, as well as their Secretary General, Mr. Monzora, who assured me of their cooperation in dealing with the issue. But this was not so. That was before damage and mayhem had started. I was observing the activities from my office on the 8th floor in ZRP. I contacted them myself and we discussed the issues. Initially, there was denial of them being responsible for this, but later it turned out, it became very clear that it was an MDC Alliance demonstration when they started pulling down banners from our offices, throwing stones, damaging vehicles on the premises of ZRP. But still, their promised action was not communicated to us.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Wosaya Mviringi, an independent journalist. My question is directed at Commissioner General Matanga. I'm not sure, Commissioner, if you can help us. You have this piece of legislation called POSA. Do you really have to choose when and when not to invoke and to apply it? Because you have got a chain of incidences where crime has been committed in violation of this piece of legislation, but still you did not take action. You have to narrate them today. They average up to 4 or 5 incidences when you really know that a crime was committed in violation of that piece of legislation. But why did you not invoke and apply it to restore order and maybe to nip the bud of crime before it spread to what it has come to be today?
Thank you, my friend. As a law enforcement agents, we enforce laws which are operational. So as in when to use certain acts, it is within my powers to do that. But when you look at the validity of any act, I will refer you to the politicians who came up with that piece of legislation. I thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Obert Mpofu. I am with newszimbabwe.com. I think perhaps this question is for the Commissioner. The Minister indicated that sections of the Constitution which allow the involvement of other elements of the security services have been invoked to help maintain order, law and order in the country. But so far as we know, this situation was limited to Harare. How was it not possible for the police to deal with this situation without the involvement of the military?
Thank you very much. I think you are all aware that when the voting time started, the Zimbabwe Republic Police deployed 71,000 officers who are still out in their areas of patrol. And as we were observing and monitoring the situation from yesterday, this afternoon I was convinced that with the number of people who were walking the streets, it was going to be out of control if I had not invited my colleagues in the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. So then I started to make sure that the processes were done and authority was granted, and definitely they are with me. I'm commanding them right now until the situation goes back to normal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
My name is Fazila Mohammed, Press TV Iran. What would you say to the attacks on journalists today?
Unfortunately, I haven't received any reports of journalists who have been attacked, unfortunately. That's why I said on operational matters, I think I will be able to give answers because my teams are still on the ground investigating. I think by midday tomorrow, I should be able to give answers. I thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Minister, you have listed incidents since January, if my memory serves me, if I did listen attentively, in terms of an indication that you had to plan for this, in terms of ensuring that there's peace and security pre and post-election. And the hotspot, Harare, was going to be a hotspot. Did you deploy enough security around Harare, knowing that Harare is likely to be volatile, and now the loss of lives? Are you taking responsibility for not deploying enough personnel, because Harare is a hotspot?
Yes, madam, we are talking about post-elections. Pre-elections, the city, all cities, the entire country was peaceful. And the occurrence of today is as a result of the measures that were taken to ensure that the elections are conducted in an atmosphere of peace. But we were aware of the machinations, as already indicated in my presentation, of some people who have no confidence in their strength, in the strength of their political parties. Because this actually is a product of political frustration by people who have no confidence in themselves politically. So we are now preparing for post-election, hence the action that we have taken. And I can assure you, we will not tolerate any of the actions that were witnessed today.
checkpoints? Is there a curfew? What exactly is it that the military are helping you and how?
Thank you, my colleague from Al Jazeera. Now that the military have come to assist me as head of police, I can only release them when the situation comes back to normal. And that's why government, my minister, and myself, and my Department of Press and Public Relations, we are appealing to people to stay maybe in their homes until this election period is over. For those who are going to work, they must go to work and go back to their homes without disturbing anyone, without infringing the movement and freedoms of other people. So as long as the situation remains like this, I will not send away the military. I thank you.
I think the motivation by the opposition party, especially the one that we have talked about, has been to grandstand while the observers are still here, while the international media is still here. You saw the several attempts to come to where you were this morning. I mean, they were not going to Harvest House. I think they were from Harvest House to come and show their frustration to you or to the observers, which is very unfortunate. I mean, if they have any issues that they are not comfortable or happy with, I mean, there are processes that have to be followed. And some of the people who have been fanning this anarchy are senior lawyers in this country. And we wonder what the objective is. But I just want to say to you, my colleagues, that action will be taken. And it will be seen to be taken.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think we will have the last three. Yes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mr. Amen Manyo from Kuluma, Africa. I just want to find out from you, that the ambassador, the DRC ambassador, was quoted as having said that Zimbabweans had been awarded too much freedom and they were abusing it. Do you not feel deep down, do you not feel let down deep down that perhaps your clemency and your soft-handed approach has led to the situation that we saw unfold today?
Not at all. I think the people that are behind all this anarchy have exposed themselves. I mean, they've been calling themselves Democrats and accusing us of being dictatorial and democratic. And you know what has happened, what has been happening. My president has been talking to the region, talking to the international community, the continent, the globe, that our elections would be free and fair. Opposition parties have never enjoyed freedom of meeting their supporters since independence, the way they've been doing. So they've perhaps interpreted our understanding to being weak. And I think they're testing our resolve. And I think they're making a big mistake. And when we start clamping on them, they will also cry foul. But we are a responsible country. And we have the laws that actually give us power to deal with those that break the law.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Okay, my question is to the Commission, the Ministry of International and Freelance Journalists. just to ask, from the incidences that happened today, you brought the army to your help. Did the situation warrant the heavy-handedness that we saw in the streets today?
Thank you, my brother. Like I said earlier on, we're monitoring the situation, especially from yesterday up to this morning, and people were very peaceful, only to be told that there were no gatherings in the CBD to the size of 1,500 people. And they were even growing bigger within minutes. So it was within my powers to make sure that I deploy appropriate force to deal with the people on the ground, only to discover that, not only discovering, I'm very much aware that I don't have enough, I had deployed enough to deal with peaceful people within the cities. Now that people have turned rowdy, I have to respond with this same level of power to make sure that the situation goes back to normal.
Thank you very much.
Are you happy with my answer? If you are not happy, we can revisit the question tomorrow. There's no problem.
Commissioner General, my name is Obert Mpofu. I'm from 26 Richard. Since the army was under you, did you also give the order to shoot to kill one? Two, did you also give the order to use live bullets?
Unfortunately, you are coming up with answers which questions have not been asked. I'm not yet aware of who is responsible for the killings. Now you're telling me that the army has killed people. I think it's too early for me to say that.
No, I'm speaking as someone who was there.
Sorry?
I'm speaking as someone who was there. I was covering that.
Someone who was there from my office?
As a journalist, I was there. I was on the
Oh,
ground.
you mean? I'm still investigating, my brother. And I will respond to that when the time comes. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we'll have the last person.
Okay, thank you. Sure. Good evening, Alden Simpier from ENCA. Commissioner General, can you confirm that the army was on standby? Because literally minutes after the marching MDC Alliance supporters were throwing stones at the headquarters of ZANU-PF, did we see the army then rolling in? Can you confirm that they had been told even before this protest to be on standby?
Thank you, my brother. I now treat you as someone who has not been in the military. When we are in an operation, we put all our officers on a 24-hour basis standby. For those who have been in the military, even the pilots, we put them on what we call the cockpit standby. So we don't have to wait for 10 hours to get some response from standby units. As a prepared organization, when you call for assistance, it must come like that. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you can allow one or two.
Okay, one or two, the minister said we can have one or two.
And on his question, colleagues, he is saying the army reacted when the crowd, the mob started attacking ZANU-PF. Now the attack took, I think it was on their third attempt to come into the hotel that they started attacking ZANU-PF. So the second attempt is when they started pulling down our posters and stoning cars, which you saw, were extensively damaged. And third attempt is when the army and the helicopter came to disperse together with the police, came to disperse the crowd. But we also have footage of most of those young people being given alcohol at Harvest House. In the morning, they were very peaceful, but their second attempt was now beginning to be some intoxication. on most of the youths. And third attempt, they were totally drunk. And you were there, we saw the journalists being pushed around. No, from there, we have all that footage. So it's really not as though government just decided to move in the police and on people who were demonstrating peacefully.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think
Maybe the last
okay, the
question.
last one.
Okay, thank you. Nyasham Kabigo, I'm a freelance journalist. I wanted to know if you have the number of people that have been killed, and also if those people are directly involved in the protest, and also the number of people injured, and the total worth of the property destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. I want once more confirm that 3 people have died. Maybe from what we have investigated and found, we can confirm that 3 people have died. 2 were picked up in town. And the third one, unfortunately, in terms of the law, it is sub judice to talk about some of these things because they are still under investigation. But because you are nice people, I will give you a little bit of information. I am reliably informed that the demonstrators themselves picked up one of their colleagues who was injured and took him for a to Parinyatwa. And by the time they got there, the person was dead. And they dumped the body at the hospital and they drove away. So I can confirm that there are 3 dead bodies. How they died, we are still investigating. I thank you.
We will continue updating you on developments. But my assurance to the public is that we will not condone anarchy. Wherever it occurs, action will be taken without any reservation. You see, we have the necessary legal power and enough personnel to deal with unruly elements in our society. And if people want to test our patience, they'll be very disappointed. Very disappointed. And I want to appeal to the media fraternity not to fan up the emotions. Because the reports that we are seeing on some of the media houses are not helpful, especially from eyewitnesses. Most of you were eyewitnesses. We saw how you were being treated. You also saw the behavior of the people that were said to be demonstrating. And I appeal to you to report effects as you see them. We are, as government, victims of unruly elements, and we have identified with footage of everything that took place today. We know the culprits, the players. You know, the Harare ZANU-PF headquarters was gutted down. I saw that, the vehicles were. And we have got pictures of all those people who did that. And when we start dealing with them, we expect reportage that reflects the occurrences on the ground. I want to thank you, Senator Commissioner. I want to thank you, colleagues, for your attention. We have kept you up to late. In fact, you have kept me up to late. So we are taking this very seriously. And we are going to deal with it. I mean, now that the elections are over, we just have to go back and run the country effectively.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, members of the media. We'll keep updating you. Thank you once again.
So we're safe to go to work tomorrow?
And home tonight.
I have to go home as well. Thank you very much.